In 10, won 5 out of 7, and we deserve to win all of them. We started the game well, then we conceded the goal. We had a period of a bit of doubt, then the team reacted so well. I mean, to score 5 goals away from home in this league is never easy, so very pleased.
We did many parts of the game. We did really well. But in one very important part, we were terrible today, and this is defending the own box. So we conceded the first 3 goals after crosses. We had taller players than they had, but we didn't mark them. And then Jesus, I think, will always wish to play against us now because he has 5 goals in 2 games. It's crazy.
I never doubt on my qualities. I never doubt that I can score goals. But obviously, when you are having a bad moment, you have to keep your mind strong. That's what I try to do. Sometimes it's not easy. When I live with a smile on my face, everything is different.
You could see him the days before and the days after that he was ready for it. And I had no doubts. When a player is in that momentum, he has to play.
Yeah, it's a great win for Arsenal. And what a few days for Gabriel Jesus. I mean, being a striker, it's a daft old business, isn't it?
We know how it goes, yeah. He's having such a tough time in front of goal. But I think Mikel Arteta deserves a lot of credit, because of what happened in midweek. He gets his goals, and you see the belief that he would have had in training and everything else. So he had to start him today, and it was a wonderful performance from him. It was no surprise that he's back in the goals. Again, great play from Saka, going on the outside, putting a wonderful ball in. Gabriel does well in the block, and then he gets into the box and he tucks it away really, really well. And he's got a spring back in his step. Another set piece from Arsenal. This is a really clever finish, the way he guides it in, and maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago that might hit the post and not go in, but such is his confidence, and he feels back amongst it and a belief again. Arsenal go on the outside. Martinelli this time, another great ball into the box, and that's a really good header. Unlucky, but Havertz gets the goal anyway. He tucks it away and he's following it up. But his all-round play, I thought, was very, very good today. Whether he was bringing people into the game with little touches like that, going in behind, the give, the go. You can see he's got a pace about him again, and he feels as if he belongs back in the team. And he'd be devastated he didn't get a hat-trick, because that should have been back in the back of the net. But they get the goal anyway. And I said about his hold-up play and bringing people into the game, just little touches and turns like that. And it was a really good performance from Arsenal, and particularly him. Unlucky there, another ball into the box. I mentioned his work rate, Gary. This is what, the 4-1 up with 5 minutes to go. Look at that. Yeah. I think that was the impressive thing as well. He goes chasing the ball, keeps it alive. The ball goes into Declan Rice, and that's a really clever finish. He's got to carry that on now. He's had a disappointing time, but he's back. He's never been prolific.
Not prolific.
He's never been prolific. Certainly not at Arsenal anyway. So those numbers have to improve.
Okay. Well, you've played against him, actually, haven't you? What was he like to play against, and have you seen a change in his game?
Yeah. Well, he was, especially at Manchester City, he was like he was today. So he was sharp. He's always working. He never gives you time on the ball. He's always pressing you. He had a real good knack of arriving at the right time in the box, whether that's back post or in between centre back. So I think, like Al said, he needs to get back to that. I think he's missed that a little bit, but a bit of consistency and playing like he did today will do him well.
A word on Bukayo Saka. Looked like a bad one. We saw him walking off on crutches later on, didn't we? So that's a big loss for Arsenal.
It would be a big loss for Arsenal. And when you look at the list there, not only Saka's goals but his assists, which is why even more important, I think, for Jesus to step up and try and replace him.
Yeah, difficult job.
Absolutely.
Aston Villa unveiled plans this.
Mikel, that was a very good performance from your team. It's been a good week for you.
Yeah, very good week. It's always weird to play twice in 3 days the same opponent, and we started the game well, then we conceded the goal. We had a period of a bit of doubt, then the team reacted so well. I mean, to score 5 goals away from home in this league is never easy, so very pleased.
Great week for Gabriel Jesus as well. You said in midweek when he got the hat-trick, you said that might be the spark. It looks like it was.
It was, and you could see him the days before and the days after that he was ready for it, and I had no doubts. When a player is in that momentum, he has to play.
Scoreline looks very comfortable, but David Raya did have to make some saves in the game.
Yes, especially one in the first half, another one in the second half. And that's the beauty of it, that the result probably looks bigger, but it was a period that the game wasn't over yet.
And a real quality goal from Declan Rice. The way he finished that was, you could see he was fresh when he came on.
Yeah, some of the goals were really good again, from different faces, different players again sharing the goals. Really positive. And when he came on, I think he gave us something else in the game. He grabbed the game and gave us a lot of control.
I know you've played more games, but 3 points now behind Liverpool. Given the recent run of form, given some results that didn't go your way, is this okay?
Well, I think we're in a really good moment. I mean, we haven't lost in 10, won 5 out of 7, and we deserve to win all of them. We are coping with a lot of things as well. Today as well, Rush wasn't available, with Bukayo as well. Let's see how it goes. So the team is adapting and fighting every game.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about Bukayo Saka. Have you any indication you can give us?
No, he felt something. Obviously, it's too early to assess him, have the precaution with him right now and see what we have.
Okay, well done today. Thank you very much. Cheers, Mikel.
Did you enjoy?
It's a very different game to those two, which in my opinion we deserve to win. Clearly we didn't, and today was a very important one. We're in a really good run. The team started well, then we had a period of a little bit of doubt, not clear the intentions what we had to do in the game, but then we grabbed the control, the dominance again, scored some fantastic goals from various players again, and obviously it's a big result.
What's the difference between the Everton and Fulham is that you were clinical today, you took your chances, scored it?
100%, because dominance-wise and situations, chances, areas on the pitch, probably those two games were even better than today. So, but that's football.
You need to play Crystal Palace every couple of days because you've beaten them in the League Cup. But maybe the disappointing thing for you today is Saka's injury. Can you give us an update on that?
Yeah, well, we lost Rush yesterday in training and then Bukayo today. So that's a worry. We don't know the extent of the injury. We have to assess him. But still, you know, all the players come in, the ones that they're starting, and they are really performing. So let's hope that it's not going to be too much.
Can I get a final one on Jesus? 5 goals in 2 games. He scored 5 in previous 45 games, I think. Did you see that coming? He's scoring 5?
That's the beauty of it. But when a player is in that moment, things come to you. He's got now the confidence as well because of the goals he scored the other day. Really happy to have our strikers firing.
Congratulations.
For Arsenal, they're 3 points behind Liverpool, who have games in hand as things stand, but who play tomorrow, as did Chelsea. At the moment, Arsenal on 33 points. The Opta supercomputer, and as Mikel Arteta said, we're not even halfway through the season, nearly, but not quite halfway through the season yet, have Arsenal with a 13.2% chance. And even though they're behind Chelsea, they have a better chance of lifting the Premier League trophy come the end of the season than Chelsea do. Well, what do you think, Paul? What needs to happen for Arsenal to do it?
Well, that 5.8% needs to be bigger. Whatever happens, that doesn't need to be bigger. That's ridiculous. Arsenal need consistency. They need consistency. You know, as Mikel Arteta said, they've drawn their last 2 games. Drawing at home to Everton, you know, the chances they've got to win them games. They've got to be more ruthless. They've got to put these teams away, you know. So being consistent, but they're right in there. You know, I'm one of them. It's to forget the 2 games in hand. You know, if I was Liverpool, I'd forget about the 2 games in hand. You just want to keep on playing. You know, you don't want to keep on playing and go, right, we've got 1 game in hand if we, you know, just in case, because that comes around. And before that comes around, you need that just to be 1 point behind or just go level. So for me, I look at the league like it is now. Arsenal, they're in it. But I definitely be having Chelsea at more than 5.8%.
Yeah, I agree with that. Is the difference because Arsenal have been sort of inconsistent across the season, whereas Chelsea didn't start maybe as well as Arsenal did, but they've improved as the season has gone on. Is that the difference?
Well, the thing with Chelsea is they've got no distractions. They are not in Europe. They've got another team for European football. They're not in the Carabao Cup.
Well, they're in Europe, but not in the Champions League.
They've got another team.
Cole Palmer doesn't
another
play
team.
it,
Cole Palmer, none of them playing it, hardly. You know, I was there on Thursday night. Cucurella played. He's probably the only one who plays at Everton this weekend. So they've got an unbelievable squad. They haven't got 2-legged Carabao Cup games in January and February. You know, we just see the Arsenal fixtures and you're like, the Newcastle probably would be a little bit happy. Chelsea are in this 100%. But Arsenal are probably 13 and Chelsea are 5 because they haven't been in this position.
No. But Arsenal as well, Paul, I think, where they've been the team that's been caught and been chased by Manchester City. Now, we look where Man City are in 6th. You've got to rule them out of the equation. 3 teams with a relative inexperience of winning titles because of what over the last few years. That is obviously Liverpool won one under Jurgen Klopp, but they're going to work on the basis that Liverpool will drop points. It's not going to be a Manchester City where they're going to go 15, 16 games unbeaten. That's going to be so hard to do. So Arsenal have to
the Opta computer just will be looking at previous results as well. So because Chelsea have improved so much, they won't have the history of results that they'll be looking at when they look at Arsenal's
Absolutely, and Liverpool,
results.
of course, they're the team right now that's in great form, but we all know how quickly form can disappear. You know, they've actually been brilliant because they've done it with a few injuries as well. But what Liverpool have got that I think Arsenal still need, and if they can do it in January, I think they'll give them even more chance, is that they can bring, and when everybody's fit, and I'm talking about Jota and players like that, so many people that can come off the bench to make a difference, make an impact. Arsenal are just short in that area. I think, and I'm not saying that Jesus is going to be interesting in how they sort of utilise him in games. He's got a big part to play. But I still think they need another striker or another forward player, so wide, just to add some goals and a bit of experience to what they need, a bit of just to bolster that forward and that forward line. Because at times it does feel like if Saka's going to be out for however long, have they got someone that can fill that void? So I think they may be short of just one or two players still.
And Paul, you talked about the importance of what comes next in terms of the fixtures, because they've got Champions League and they've got games to come up in the Carabao Cup as well. They've got FA Cup ties in there. And what's interesting about this run of fixtures, as Jamie said, is that we don't know. Saka went off injured today, and as Mikel Arteta said, we need to wait and see. He's never missed more than 2 consecutive games for Arsenal in the 5 years since he's been established Arsenal starter. So potentially they're going to have to get through some of this run of fixtures without him.
Yeah, very much so. And you look at probably the Man United game in the FA Cup where they'll probably go, you know what, that's the game we'll probably have to sacrifice. I don't think you can go through them games, you know, Brighton away, then Newcastle. If you've got to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, you might as well keep on going, you know, if you get that far. The Man United game, then for me, is a no-go in the FA Cup, and then they play Tottenham. So I think if you're a Man United fan, you're looking at that game thinking, we might have had a result here with these fixtures. And then they got some hard fixtures, but, you know, 5 home games on the trot. Very rare someone whips up 5 away wins on the trot at home. So it'll be how they look after the players. But I haven't seen Mikel Arteta that happy for a long time.
Yeah. He looks very relaxed.
But there'll be an element of, he'll be praying that once that MRI scan comes through and how is Bukayo Saka, because he knows if they are to win the league, they're going to need him. He's so important. He's their talisman. He's their best player. And you don't want to be without him for too many games. You know, January the 15th, Tottenham at home, it's the sort of game when you need him. He comes up, he turns up in the big games. But they have got fixtures that you look at. But I honestly think this season is going to be one of them where teams are going to drop points. It's becoming harder and harder. Look at Nottingham Forest this season, how well they've done. It's so hard to win games. You've got to earn every single point you get. And that's why I think this is going to go right to the wire. We look at everybody's fixtures. Liverpool got quite a tough run in. Arsenal's run in is you know, not too bad as well. I think Chelsea, obviously. So it's going to be a really difficult one to predict. And we're trying to say right now, well, they're out of it. And we're not even halfway through the season. There's going to be so many twists and turns still.
There are going to be so many twists and turns. But across the last 5 years, we talked about the consistency in terms of appearances for Bukayo Saka, the consistency in terms of importance as well over Mikel Arteta's 5 years. We marked the anniversary yesterday. How do you assess those 5 years, Paul?
Absolutely brilliant. In my opinion, outstanding. I think his timings in football, you know, second, he's come against one of the greatest teams ever to play football, in my opinion. His timings. You don't think the last 5 heavyweight champions of the world would have been world champions if Mike Tyson was around in his pomp? They wouldn't have been. His timings. You know, Colin Montgomery would have been an Open champion if it weren't for Tiger Woods being around. It's timings. He's been bang unlucky.
You like Tiger Woods tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, he's the best of the best. So we're talking the best.
But then maybe the question is, when you talk about Colin Montgomery, famously best player never to win a major, could this Arsenal team be? I mean, I know there is a trophy in there, but if they don't win a Premier League title, is there an...
It could do, but, you know, they've come up against a juggernaut in Man City. They'll be disappointed if they don't win it this season and Man City are where they are at the moment. Then I think they'll be disappointed. And I think the spotlight will be on them because it'll be, wait there a minute. Man City didn't turn up, you know, haven't turned up so far this season with their form. So, yeah, at the moment, as we talk today, I think he's done an outstanding job. Right. You know, 8th. Arsenal were also runners. They were just also runners. They were a team that started the Premier League, had no chance of winning it. Now they become a team that have a chance of winning the Premier League when they're in it.
I remember losing the Monday Night Football at Brentford, and everyone was like, not sure how long he's going to last. He was under severe pressure. You know, he had the Lacazette and the Aubameyang situation. He won that battle. The club backed him. Now they back him in every respect. And you can see that 8th, 5th, 2nd. And they've been so unlucky, as Paul says. But this year, if they weren't to do it, it would feel like the big miss. Because this is the opportunity. This was the one. I fancied them really strongly at the start of the season. I think at times they've got in their own way with a little bit of ill discipline, getting men sent off at the wrong times. A couple of injuries have missed.
So I just wonder if you can say that about sometimes the end of the season when they've been up against Manchester City, because at the end of each season there's been that little run of games. It was only a couple last season, maybe a little bit longer the season before, where it felt like it just went away for them.
It was that one game,
is that the question mark you would point to them?
Against
Aston
Villa.
We were doing the game.
We were doing the game. That was the game. They had a couple of chances first half, and then as the game went on, only one team looked like they were going to win it. 1.95 over 5 years. It's some going. That's a consistent...
Yeah.
You know, I think he's done great.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think they might enjoy, because now they're going to have to chase, do you think they might enjoy that bit of pressure off them? Because rather than sort of looking over your shoulder thinking every week Man City keep winning, do you think it might help them a little bit?
I'm a great believer. I always want it in my hands. I always want it in my hands. You know, even when we won the league in '89 at Liverpool, you know, we were miles in front and they caught us up. But I'd always rather be in front. You know, I got to sit there now tomorrow. You got to sit there and, if you're an Arsenal fan, and go, oh, I hope Chelsea and Liverpool get beat. You know, and if they don't, it's another game goes by. And you know, for me, I know Jamie's saying there's going to be a lot of twists and turns, but there might not be. You know, this Liverpool team are wrong, and if they go to Tottenham and win at Tottenham, you think there's another game gone, and they soon go. And the gulf in this league now is getting bigger, in my opinion. I think the lesser teams are there to be beaten. I don't see them beating Liverpool. So if Liverpool can stay consistent with the bottom 12 or 13 teams in the Premier League, I think it's going to be hard.
Liverpool have been extraordinary. We'll be talking about them tomorrow, but what Slot's gone in there and done straight away and got the team playing in the fashion they have. You know, it's been extraordinary, but you just never know. You know,
especially with Tottenham up as their next opponent.
Well, that's going to be like tomorrow's going to be incredible. It's going to be a basketball match. You know, anything could happen tomorrow. So, but you still think, and you look at with Tottenham's injuries, that it will be a big opportunity for Liverpool tomorrow.
Yeah, that game coming up on Super Sunday. But for now,
it's to be amongst it. Like for Arsenal, you can't go to Palace and draw now. You have to go there and win. Obviously, they've won, but you want to go there and win, and you have to keep the pressure on them. You know, to see how it goes. So, you know, 6 points behind with 2 games in hand. Obviously, it seems like a mountain, but you've just got to stay amongst it.
Yeah, well, also, Liverpool, of course, they do have the games in hand, but they don't have the points on the table yet. So that's another thing that Arsenal and Chelsea can do to put pressure on Liverpool, just win every game that they can.
You rather the points on the board. Listen, Arsenal are in it. They've had a few draws against Fulham and Everton, and everyone's writing Arsenal up. There'll be lots of twists and turns. Liverpool are the favourites at the moment. I think their challenges are Arsenal. That's what I think. Everyone can say, yeah, Chelsea are title contenders. They are title contenders because of where they are, but do I think Chelsea will go on and win it? No. Do I think Arsenal have a great chance? Yeah, I do think they have a great chance. But the Saka injury worries me a lot, but hopefully it's not too bad.
Yeah, and I guess what's key now for Arsenal from this point on to the end of the season? How do they keep this momentum going? What would you be saying to them if you were to give them advice? Well,
you got to stick to your game plan, what you're doing. You know, obviously you want people like Ødegaard. Obviously Saka's out now. You want people like Ødegaard to keep his form up. If it's going to be set pieces, which people complain about the other day, is set pieces. If you're going to get teams who come and you play against teams who are going to be not marking you tight enough, then you punish them. But you go into the game with the same attitude as every game. You're trying to win it, and you've got to impose yourself on teams and put them under pressure. This is why I was disappointed with Palace, because Palace didn't put them under any kind of pressure. So it's an easy game for Arsenal today, and Arsenal themselves will know we're not going to have every game where it's going to be that easy. So we have to make sure that we're ready to go again. That's all you have to do. Be ready to go again.
Ready to go again is a game against Ipswich in the Premier League next. So not the worst fixture list there
Yeah, I like the fixture list. Listen, Ipswich at home, not being disrespectful to Ipswich, but I think Arsenal will have too much for them. And listen, Brentford's a tough game. Brighton away is a tough game. Newcastle at home will be tough. Man United, that's FA Cup. And Tottenham at home, that is what? It's the North London derby, is it? And it's a massive football match. But I look on paper and look at them games and think, yeah, Arsenal are in a good position. But Wright will tell you, the Premier League, there's no easy games in the Premier League. I thought Arsenal at home to Everton, they'll comfortably beat them. Everton managed to get a point there. But you look at that run of games and you think, I give Arsenal a good opportunity.
Righty?
No, when you look at those games with, like I say, with Liverpool, with the 2 games in hand, you probably, all those league games, you have to win them.
Yeah.
So the worst way is you look at that, and Brentford away is a tough game. It's always a tough game. I think Brighton is going to be a tough game as well, but going in those games knowing what you have to do is easier than going in trying to get something. Knowing what you have to do is what you're going to go out, and then that's when you're going to impose yourself on that team. And that's what Arsenal have to do now. Let people know they're coming, and it's going to be tough wherever if we're at home or away.
It will indeed be tough. Crystal Palace, on the other hand, we just saw the bottom of the table. Look, they're not in the relegation zone at all, and I think many would think that they won't get dragged into it, but they're not completely safe either. We saw the first 8 games in comparison to the last 8. What are you hoping now to see from them moving forward?
To kick on. Maybe January comes and they spend a bit of money as well, but they have to kick on. They have to kick on, and I want to see players like the likes of Nketiah getting opportunities and start scoring goals, which I know he can do. But yeah, I want Wharton back in the team. I think he makes a big difference, the young man. He always wants to pass forward.
Him and Decore are good too.
Yeah, him and Decore, I think, the 2 best midfielders. When them 2 are together, flying fit, I think Palace are a better team, but I like what Ismail Sarr's doing. I like what Mateta's doing. So the balance is good with Palace. I don't worry about it. I think Glasner's got them playing. I was disappointed tonight. I was really disappointed. It's the first time I can be critical of Palace, but I think moving forward, I think Palace will be comfortable.
But it could have been a different story had they had Eze, Wharton, Munoz on the team as well, because they've got players to come back.
Well, especially Eze and Wharton. I think that the fullbacks for Palace are a bit of a weakness in what they need, and I think that what was hidden from everybody was Elise and Eze's form was so good that the fullbacks you kind of like negated them. They didn't really need them, but now you need them. You need those 2 fullbacks, and I think Munoz, I know he scored a few goals, it's okay, but from Mitchell's side as well, it's not enough coming for someone like Mateta, somebody who's good enough that if Wharton comes back, if Decore comes back, you can play into him. So we'll have to see how it goes with Palace.
2-3 weeks ago, you would have seen Jesus putting that in the back of the net. It's all about confidence as a centre forward.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And again, with that much time on the edge of the box, you've got enough time to think and calm down. You're gonna score the goals. And again, Palace have to look at this and really be a bit disappointed with the way they played at home.
And when he looks at that, he'll be rather pleased. Normally we look at season stats, don't we? But this is this week's stats, because 2 appearances, 5 goals, 10 shots, 8 on target. But the goals is the most important thing there.
Yeah, it is. And people keep talking about Arsenal need a centre forward. And yeah, I do think Jesus does too much work outside the box. But that's his position. He can play off the right, the left. We always know Jesus when he was at Man City like that. But if he can stay in the box like he did tonight, he'll be a handful. And like he did in the midweek as well. Arsenal might have the man that they need. You keep talking about strikers. You just said it earlier, the amount of goals they're scoring away from home, Arsenal. Yeah. Too much times we get fascinated with stats. Arsenal are delivering at the moment, and they can score goals. Saka's going to be injured, but now you need the likes of Martinelli, Havertz, Odegaard, Jesus to step up. They've got enough quality in their team.
Yeah, I mentioned that stat about away from home. 5 or more scored in 6 different away games in 2024. That's the most ever by an English top-flight club. That's pretty impressive.
It's pretty impressive, but Arsenal seem to have for some reason, if it doesn't go well for Arsenal, whether they win or they draw or they lose, it seems that they get a lot more. Coverage in respect to the amount of goals they're supposedly scoring. Now that's a great stat in respect of scoring away from home. Now all you're hoping is that they can continue to take their game into anyone they're playing against and create the same amount of chances. They're not going to get the kind of time and space that they got against Palace, but they've just got to be clinical with the chances they've got. They're not far behind. They're still in all the competitions. There's a lot of noise around them, but all they've got to do is focus on that next game and winning as comfortably as they did today. Playing as comfortably and as how can I say, confidently as they did today.
They did play with a lot of confidence, a lot of swagger today, didn't they?
I like that, yes.
Yes, there was. The only disappointing part of the whole thing was Saka getting injured in that first half.
Yeah, it's a huge blow. He's a star boy, and I love watching him play. I love the kid. I think he's an outstanding footballer, but you can see straight away, as soon as he's put that into the box, he's felt it. Listen, we've seen many times Saka going down, getting kicks. He gets kicked a lot because he's a talented individual, but as soon as he swung it in, he felt the back of his hamstring. So hopefully it's not too long. I didn't like that from Lacroix, because you don't need to usher him off the pitch and tell him to get off the pitch. He's got a bad hamstring. Just relax. And Saka's not one who milks it.
Yeah, we know how crucial he is, as is Odegaard, but those two have sort of developed such a good little partnership, haven't they?
Yeah, it's a great partnership. There's nothing little about it as well, Seema. It's a massive partnership, and it's a massive part of what Arsenal are doing offensively. What's going to happen now is we're going to have to see who's going to be playing on that right side. Is it going to be Martinelli? You know, we saw Jesus come on in the middle of the pitch, but he can also play on the right side because of the confidence and the consistency that Odegaard and Saka has on that side. Someone's going to have to come in and fill the void of what Saka doesn't bring, and he brings a lot. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do that.
OK, well, we are now going to go straight back to Selhurst Park and catch up with an Arsenal player that contributed today. Martinelli joins us. Thank you so much for joining us live. I have Ian Wright and Clinton Morrison in the studio with me. First of all, congratulations on the win and the goal. How did that feel today?
Yeah, I mean, it feels amazing. Brilliant performance from the team. I think we did really well and we deserved the win.
Gabby, it's Ian. How you doing, brother?
How are you, legend? You okay?
I'm really good, Gab. Gabby, can I just say I'm so pleased with the way it's working out now. You know, you're scoring a few goals now, you're playing. How does it feel to be in a place where your confidence seems to be back when you was under so much pressure just a few games ago?
I mean, you have played the game, you know how tough it is to be on this side, and I'd like to say thank you for the message that you sent me the other day. It means a lot to me. As you said, it's really good to score and win the game, and it's an honor to, as I said, to receive a message, the one you sent me. So again, thank you so much. It means a lot to me.
It's because I love you, Gabs. It's because I love you.
I love you, legend. Thank you.
He genuinely does. And you know what? It was a really, really great performance all round. The mood in the camp must be high.
Yeah, I mean, we know our quality. We know what we can do. We have a brilliant squad, and with really good players. We trust ourselves, and when we play in the way that we know, things happen, you know, and yeah, we just...
It seemed very calm. Everybody seemed very calm with what was going on. What's the manager like before the game? Was he calm? Just play the game, and the chances will come.
Yeah, just be ourselves, you know, and we know how tough it is to play here, but we what we can do in the game, and that's the most.
Gabby.
Time. And good luck with the rest of it all. Thank you very much. You called it exactly what you said before you said it. But overall, a great performance from Arsenal.
I think you have to give Arsenal credit. Again, you can't make the kind of mistakes that Palace made today by standing off. But saying that, now even for their goal, you know, Saliba, I thought he should have been tighter to him. But you make those kind of mistakes, you give them those kind of opportunities, and good players will punish you. And they'll get more and more confident doing that. And hopefully Arsenal can use that to go again.
Now, we know that these two met in the Cup quarter-final on Wednesday. Jesus scored a hat-trick, and he continued that fine form with the opening goal today.
Yeah, so strikers are confident players. We're different. We just like scoring goals, and then we're full of confidence. He's full of confidence at the moment. You can see here, they don't deal with it, but once it comes to him at the back post, it's brilliant. So what you want as a centre-forward, and you're thinking, just hit the target. Make good contact, hit the target, and it goes through Mark Gay's legs, and Henderson's got no chance. But he's full of confidence at the moment, is he, Ray?
That's a beauty. See, this is another one. Put it into the danger where all the bodies are. But then that's the little bit of quality there from Thomas Partey to play it to him with that right pace. But then he just like starts it outside the post, whips it in. Because he's, like I said, he's confident. He's confident at the minute.
And he was everywhere today, wasn't he?
Well, he's that player. A lot of people, like even Clinton was saying about it, he'd like him to be more central and staying in and around the box. But his natural game is to be everywhere. But ideally, you want him in and around the box, especially if he's going to finish like that.
We normally look at season stats, don't we, gents? But this is just this week.
Yeah,
2 appearances and 5 goals. That's not a bad return, is it?
It's been brilliant, and that will give him fuller confidence moving forward. As I said, I wanted to see him in and around the 6-yard box, and he probably should have been. He should have scored his hat-trick before Martinelli did, and he was in good areas. But you know what Jesus like? He likes to come out and link it. But I'm not bothered about that. I'm bothered about scoring goals. I'm a number 9. I'm judged on my goals, not what I do outside the box. But really positive and good moving forward for Arsenal.
Yeah, and this was his first Premier League start, I think, today. Wasn't first Premier League goal, today.
Well, if you're going to score a hat-trick in a week and, you're going to play against the same defence, which don't really happen frequently, the next game, you probably want to play that player. Again, Palace gave him too much time and space and played into Arsenal's hands, and they rightly punished them.
And he was heavily involved as well in Kai Havertz's goal today as well.
Yeah, he was good. This is where I thought maybe go and get your hat-trick, to be fair.
Yeah.
Martinelli done well, gets past Mitchell. It's poor defending. It's a good header from Jesus. It's unlucky. What we were talking about is, you see here, it's so easy for Martinelli. He only wants to go down the line. Show him inside Mitchell because he's got enough pace. Someone should be marking Jesus. Great header. Havertz is on the move, isn't he, right?
That's the good thing. When you watch Havertz, watch the header, he's already moving. That's how you score goals. That's how you anticipate. And then it comes off the post, he's the only one there to tap it in. But again, you look at the amount of space that you've got in the box for Jesus, and it shouldn't be like that. This is the one you're talking about, Clint.
Yeah, that's where he should have scored.
Yeah, it looks a bit like lax, like, I only have to connect with this. Watch, if you look at his body, he's actually leaning back, doesn't get a good contact on it. But look at Martinelli's hunger. Look at him to get in there.
He wants
to the point where he gets in front of Jesus. Look, and then the reaction is brilliant. But again, for me, for Jesus there, he's just a bit too lax in the way he finished it. Look, thinks, all I've got to do is connect. You should never think like that. No. Always put it to the corners. But I love the way that Martinelli got in and just like, bang, that's brilliant. That's good stuff from him. And he deserved that.
Do you know what, Seema? I've always said this, and I've always taken this in my head. One person gave me the best bit of advice and said, when you're in the box, go ice cold. I used to say to him, I can't go ice cold because you're excited about putting the ball in there. He said, no, just relax, go ice cold, and you'll score goals. And that's where Jesus should have been. And who do you think that one person was? Yeah, when I was a 19-year-old. Yes, exactly. And I'll never forget that. So I always say it to people, go ice cold, just relax.
There you go. That's your advice. Brilliant. I love it.
Listen,
I love it.
Go ice cold, everyone.
Don't forget, go ice cold. The only disappointing part of the whole thing was the fact that Saka went off with an injury in the first half, which is a massive blow.
It is a massive blow because he's our best player. He's our most consistent player. He's shown that over the last 5 years. You can see it there with the way he tried to put that in. He's obviously tried to put a lot of power on it. When he stepped back on his back foot, he started to hold the arms. If you look at there, bam, he's tried to put a lot of power. And when he's landed, maybe, you never know. It might just, he plays a lot of games. What was that? His 250th or something?
You know what I
mean? And he's played consistently well. He's a cornerstone of everything what Arsenal are doing. So you're hoping that's not too long, that whatever that is.
Yeah, because it's not only his goals, it's his assists. He's the highest assist maker in the league. His relationship with Odegaard, which is pivotal as well. So Arsenal fans will definitely be hoping, and the players, to see him back soon.
Yeah, he's a top player. You don't want to see the best players missing, and he is their best player at the moment for me at Arsenal. I know Odegaard gets a lot of the plaudits, but Saka's outstanding, so they will miss him. Huge blow. Hopefully it's not too bad.
Belief certainly is very key here, because when you look at their last 12 matches, only 1 win. We're still just not used to seeing these sorts of numbers and stats when it comes to Manchester City, right?
No, we're not. But what we're seeing is teams recognising that they're not at the level they were. I think people just continually mentioning Rodri is a bit lazy now. Yeah. I think when you look at the amount of individual performances and poor performances, poor decisions, there's a lot more going on than just Rodri. And obviously it probably wouldn't be happening as much, but at the same time, there's something going on mentally with the Manchester City players for us to see such a drop-off from a team that have been so dominant for so many years. And at the moment, anybody would fancy playing against them.
Yeah, I think we all thought that it would happen at one point, because how long can you keep playing this perfect football?
No, but you wouldn't expect
winning
it to.
4 titles in a row. But of course, you wouldn't expect it the downfall to be this big.
Yeah,
No, definitely. You wouldn't expect the downfall to be this great. That That's the thing that I think is surprising most people.
Yeah, massively so. And you're right. You expect them to lose 3 or 4 games, but not the amount of games you just showed there, 9 losses. It's been nowhere near good enough. And right, he's spot on. We can all say Rodri. They're not a one-man team. Rodri's a very, very good player and he's a Ballon d'Or winner. But I think he's the most crucial player for them. I don't think he's their best player. I think their best player is Kevin De Bruyne, who can't get fit at the moment. So they are missing Rodri, I get it, but that's not the results for that. No, something's not working right at that football club. And it's the first time probably Pep's been in that situation.
Exactly. So a lot of them in that situation for many years, they've been winning. And you look at it and you think to yourself, well, you know, they're going to have to find a way out of it because, again, when you look at how dominant they were, for it to happen so quickly, it just feels like there's more going on than maybe we're seeing.
They had a little bit of a slump last year. I think it was 3 defeats and 3 draws and 1 defeat, and then they bounced back.
Yeah,
all
but
of a sudden.
even the
this is
great
so different.
It's very different because even the great team, great, you're probably going to see maybe 2-3 games where you might be a little bit off of kilter, but then bam, you come back. What we're into now, like 11 games, 12 games, I don't know.
12 games, 1 win.
12 games, 1 win. This is something that we would never have said a year ago, 2 years ago. We would never have said anything like this. But this is a great opportunity for teams to make sure that they could take advantage of City. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And how easy was it then for John Duran to score that opening goal tonight?
It was easy, but I'm going to credit Aston Villa because I thought Tielemans in midfield, look at this little touch, outstanding. And the pass is brilliant. And this young man, Rodgers, has got so much ability because I know if I'm in that position, I'm not sure if I'm squaring it, Seema, but he gets his head up and he plays in his teammates anyway.
This is something that you would never see from City, from the goalkeeper, straight down the middle of the football pitch, 2 passes. You know, this is where you say there's something wrong. The organisation from City in that instant, they should be punished like that. They should be punished.
John Duran, 3 starts, 3 goals.
No,
some good competition between him.
It is, but he can rotate the centre forwards. Watkins won't like it. I know Ollie won't like it. No striker wants to get rotated, but he's been banging on the door. He comes on off the bench, delivers, and when he starts, he's delivering. And he could have 2 goals. In the first minute, he had a great opportunity where he went through, and I think he took the shot too early. Good save from Ortega, but he's a handful, Duran, and they nearly lost him in the summer to West Ham. They nearly lost him.
They'll be glad they kept him.
Exactly.
Morgan Rogers, playing his former club, he was crucial today as well.
Well, you know, again, like we saw the first goal, but even this goal, his skill here, you know, to get through a Manchester City side, you know, go, 40, 50 yards dribbling, you know, then pass it. It wouldn't happen. This is what I'm saying. There's so many more problems with City. And then for him to be in the box, on his weaker side, brilliant. It's great to see. Look where he is. This wouldn't happen. But, like, his skills, too strong. Brilliant the way he's tried, you know, kept it on the left side when he needed to, kept it on the right side, then passed at the right pace. And then, you know, again, if you can do it and you do it with confidence against City and take chances, you can beat them. And that's what teams are showing now.
Not great from City there either.
No, it's not good defending. It's poor defending. And as I said, we can't keep saying it's about one player. Collectively, they don't look like they're running enough. And there's no desire there at the moment. They've not got confidence. But look at that. Look at that. Played 26, lost 9. There's going to be more losses as well from now to the end of the season.
It could end up being the worst season that he's ever had, where it feels like it's going in that direction. But it starts and ends with the manager, doesn't it? It has to be him that finds a way to get the best out of these players, surely.
We're probably going to see some movement in January, in the January window.
Sure.
Because judging by those 2 goals, they're going to have to do something to shore up that midfield and make it stronger. I think that Man City, for me, have to be blamed for poor recruitment. You know, with Rodri, with Alvarez going, with De Bruyne coming towards the end of it, with Kyle Walker. I think that up to this point, the recruitment for this stage of what they're doing, even though Pep's signed, it's not been good enough, and that is why they're getting what they're getting at the minute, beaten.
Clinton, life and times of a footballer, you're going to have highs, you're going to have lows.
Of course you are.
Whenever you've been in a tough patch, what do you need? What is the thing you need from your manager or from people around you?
Yeah, managers, but only manager can only do a certain amount. It's down to us players. We're the leaders in there. We've won it 4 in a row. We were trying to make it 5 in a row. Pep's probably never been in this situation ever as a manager, and so these group of players. But it's how you get out of it. You say 1 win, maybe 2 wins, 3 wins. It brings back confidence. They don't look like they got confidence at the moment. Something's not right within that team. It's the same group of players that have won so much before. So something's not right. I think Ryan makes a great point. Come January, they need to sign players. Losing Alvarez, you don't have no one who can replace Haaland. Haaland's the top goal scorer. Strikers are going to go through droughts. Their second top goal scorer was Guardiola, a left back, before Foden scored today, and he's got 4 goals. That's not good enough. And they've got so much top players in the top end of the field that should be delivering more.
OK, well, a team certainly hoping to take advantage of the fact that City